So starting a band and getting into the music industry can be a really fun and rewarding experience, but it also takes a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication and a focus on quite a few things that not a lot of people think about when they're starting a band. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the top 7 things that you need to focus on when starting a band. So let's get to it. Hey, and welcome to Music Space, where we help working musicians just like you learn how to quickly and easily make a living with your craft. So if you're new here to the channel, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when new videos are uploaded. Now, right before I tell you those top 7 ways, if you are an artist, band, or musician looking to make some serious passive income and grow a huge fan base, I'm advising all musicians like this to start a YouTube channel today. And that's because of this new creator economy that we're in. YouTube is still the king of helping musicians gain a lot of passive income and grow a huge fan base. And because of this, I've created the YouTube QuickStart course. This course helps you get up and running and making money and building a fan base really quickly. And the best part is it's completely free and you can get instant access to it at the link in the description of this video. Okay, so the first thing you need to do when you're thinking about starting a band is find like-minded musicians. This is one of the things that's probably the hardest on the list because it's just really difficult these days to find like-minded people in any area. But this is really important when you're starting out because you want to have people that are sort of on the same page as you and have at least similar goals as you, musically speaking. You want to find people who share your musical interests and who are committed to the idea of growing a band together. This is just one of these really important things to start your foundation on because it kind of sets the trajectory of where your band will go and where it won't go. And just a cool tip here, if you're starting a band, it's probably not likely that you're going to land, some really experienced musicians who want to be a part of a startup band. And, that's just part of the game. But what you can do is get someone with that sort of experience to sort of coach you and guide you through this process of starting a band. Now, the next thing you want to do when starting a band is choose a genre or style of music that you're going to focus on. This is the thing that's going to spark interest among other musicians that you bring in, people who are interested in the same type of music that you're interested in starting a band around. When you're starting out, it's probably best to just get everybody on the same page or have everybody to have similar interests. That way you don't have to work as hard. So for example, when you're looking for these like-minded people that we just talked about, you want to be looking for people who have those same interests in the type of music that you want to form the band around. So let's just say it's pop music and you want to do cover songs in a cover band with pop songs. Well, you want to find people who are interested or at least sort of interested in doing that same thing. And what's important is to not think of this as sort of a be-all end-all. This is just sort of the start when you're starting a band to make sure that you're setting this foundation thing. And again, your interests may change. You may decide today you want to be a cover band doing pop songs. Next week, you may decide you want to be a jazz band just doing, light jazz and dinner music. Whatever the case is, it's important when you're starting out, again, just to get people that are like-minded and people interested in that same genre of music that you want to play. Now, the next thing you want to do when starting a band is set a practice schedule up front. It's important that when you're approaching people and when you're bringing people in, you have something to bring them into. You have some sort of organization. And this serves 2 purposes that are really cool. First, it helps you attract the people that are sort of professional and, adhere to schedules and stuff like that, or prefer to adhere to schedules. Secondly, it's going to eliminate, sort of by process of elimination, the people who can't adhere to the schedule that you set. So you found like-minded people around the same genre of music and you have a practice schedule, but one of the band members that you have can't make it on those days and they're just not free, well, you may not be able to use that person. So this scheduling thing gives you that, sort of thing up front as well, so you can kind of eliminate those issues. But not only that, it's important to practice and rehearse as a band when you're new, so that you all can start feeling each other out and start developing a musical identity as a band. So you want to start doing those things up front. And that leads me to the next thing that you should do, which is make sure that you set short-term and long-term goals. This is another thing that is crucially important. I'm telling you, what happens is when you're starting out and you're bringing people in, what happens at the beginning is everyone comes in and they're sort of excited. Oh yeah, we have this new thing, it's cool and whatever. But that excitement wears off really quickly. If you don't have something set down the line that you're working toward, be it your first gig or some big show or something like that, people are just gonna get tired of like, oh man, we've been just getting together and rehearsing and going over songs pretty much for nothing. So it's really important to have some sort of set goal or set things out front, short term and long term. A month down the line, 2 months, 3 months, a year down the line that you're working toward. Be it releasing music, creating a video, during your first show, like I just said, any of those things, you need to have some sort of goals out front set when you're bringing these people in. Okay, so now the next thing you want to do after that is start focusing on building a following around the band that you're creating. And this is something that's really important up front as well for a few reasons. One, a lot of clubs and a lot of venues and stuff like that like to see bands that have a following. They're more likely to hire them when you have a following, because in their minds, they think, okay, well, they can invite their following to this club, which is more business for them. But not only that, it also builds momentum for your band and the band members. And it provides a sort of feedback loop that you can have for, people, your supporters, to start giving you feedback about what they like about you and what, they like to hear you play or sing or whatever. And it's really important to have that sort of feedback, especially when you're starting out, because again, it helps you just get to your identity as a band much quicker, because you have people saying, okay, these are the things that we like to hear from you. You guys are so good at this, or, hey, we kind of like that or whatever. So it gives you that idea of what you need to be focusing on. So you need to start like social media pages for your band and start promoting it and let people know what you're doing. Promote yourself to clubs and venues, get some business cards and all of that, and start building some awareness around your new formed band. Now, the next thing you need to do, and this is a huge one as well, but you need to book gigs as soon as possible. Okay, so let me break this down for you. There's this process that everyone goes through when they're starting out or starting a band, and they have this thing in their mind of, are we ready to do our first gig? I'm going to be really upfront and honest with you. You need to plan to do your first gig before you're ready. Now, of course, you need to have a few things in place. You need to make sure that you have your equipment that you need. You need to make sure you can carry an entire show. So if you have 2 hours, to play a gig, you need to have 2 hours worth of music to play, and you guys can get through it. But other than that, you need to be getting on a stage and performing ASAP. And here's why. The reason is because playing your first show is part of getting ready. It's really almost just like learning to drive a car. Getting behind the wheel of the car and getting that experience driving is what gets you ready to drive the car. Plus, you need to be landing opportunities to establish the reputation of your band. So look for those opportunities to perform at, local events around your city or your town and get your music out there. Okay, now another thing you need to do when starting out is you need to be networking with other musicians. So the thing about the music industry, and really any industry, is that connection with other people and networking with other people is sort of a way that paves your path to success. And that's to say, a lot of success is about who you know. So the more musicians and artists and bands you collaborate with, the more people you know, the more you sort of can garner from their experience and their knowledge and learn from them. And that will help make your band better. And that serves another purpose too, because guess what? When you're in this phase of looking for like-minded musicians who share the same interests around the same music that you have and all of that, you can simply reach out to the people that you've networked with and ask them, hey, do you know a bass player, a drummer, a guitar player, a singer that's like this, that's interested in doing that? And the more people you know, the more people you can reach out and do that with, and it greatens your chances of finding someone that suits your band better. Now, it's also really important that when you're starting out that you have some business strategies and some business knowledge around things like money and contracts and all of that. And I've done several videos about those, and you can check those out right here, right now.